Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I got to make a micro video tonight, and I'm kind of stretching because I can't think of one that we haven't talked about in class or that I've already made a video for here off the top of my head. So one that we haven't really talked about too awful much, and maybe I haven't even touched on it in the 8A class recently here, is this idea of what we call a monopsony. Now, we've talked about a monopoly, where a monopoly is a single seller of a product and they have some price control, and we know the monopoly graph. But a monopsony is a little bit different. A monopsony, instead of being a single seller, they are a single buyer. Your textbook devotes about this much space to monopsonies. Says that basically they don't really exist in the real world, don't even know about them. Well, sometimes you do for the AP test. And so I'm going to show you a little bit here. So a monopsony is a single buyer. And the classic example that economists use is a small town with one major factory. And all the workers have to work for that factory. Now, you might think that the factory could basically do whatever they want to those workers' wages because the workers don't have a choice. Yes, that's true, but if the wage is so low that the worker says, well, you know, man, maybe I'm better off foraging for berries or wrestling deer with my bare hands to provide for my family, then they won't go to work. So yes, the firm may have a certain amount of control over the price, but they don't have absolute and total control. So what we're going to see here is I've got quantity of workers, and in order to get workers to come to work, the firm is going to have to raise the cost, or what we'll call it our wage here. Because, again, at $2, maybe these workers down here, they're saying, you know, I'll go get berries, I'll do whatever. I'm not going to work for you, it's not worth my time. I have other things to do with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the total cost here. So when we hire one worker, we pay him $2. So that's a total cost of 2. When we hire 2 workers, we got to pay everybody $4. Even that first worker now has to get 4. So 2 times 4 gives me 8, and we kind of continue down here in this fashion until we get to the bottom, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the marginal factor cost, or the marginal cost. So we're going to look at the change between each unit. So we went from, I guess I can put a 0 here, from here to here. That was a change of 2 with a change in quantity of 1. So that's 2 from here to here. Change of, looks like 6, thank you. With a change in quantity of 1. 10, looks like 14 to me. Yep, looks like 14 to me. And that looks like 18. Okay, double check me, make sure it looks right. And you'll notice here, if I can compare these two columns very quickly again, you'll notice as the quantity goes up, the cost or the wage of the worker goes up as well. And that gives me a nice supply curve. So I got supply equals our cost. And we've thought of our supply curve as the cost curve before. And then what I want you to do is I want you to notice, if we graph the marginal factor cost, it lies above. And then if I throw a demand curve on here, or a benefit curve, and I call it our marginal revenue curve, you'll notice we want to produce when we maximize profits at MR equals MC. I know it's MFC, but it's still the same way. And so you use that point, and that gives you your quantity. But remember, this curve isn't how much you're paying them. This here is the wage. So your price ends up below. And you notice this is actually kind of just an upside down monopoly. Whereas with the monopoly, where we had one seller, we had two benefit curves, or two kind of, think they slope like demand curves, but we had an AR and we had our MR in a similar fashion here, the S, the marginal factor cost on top. All right. Again, let me know, please, please, please. We just got a week here, ladies and gentlemen. Keep working hard.